Hold on, because the Jimmy Kimmel Live episode from October 29, 2025 was a wild ride from start to finish, loaded with sharp laughs, playful jabs at politics and pop culture, and some genuinely heartwarming moments mixed with pure silliness. If you missed it, don't worry. I've got the full rundown, a close look at the ending, and all the best bits in between. Let's jump right in. The show kicks off with classic Kimmel energy as Jimmy steps out proclaiming, "I'm the host." If anyone else says so, don't trust M. The crowd's electric, and you just know it's going to be a night packed with snappy one-liners and unexpected stories. Right away, Jimmy drops some biting jokes about the messy government shutdown, the painful struggle between health care and food, and the antics of a bunch of goals running the country. It's all delivered with a wink. The audience is laughing, even as the real world news feels pretty heavy. But just as you're settling into the usual political roasts, we get reports of dangerous research monkeys on the loose in Mississippi, potentially infected with everything from hepatitis to COVID. Jimmy can't resist riffing about the monkeys' wild night outs. Who are these monkeys hanging out with? Charlie Sheen. That joke lands hard. There's a surreal, hilarious edge to the segment as Jimmy warns Mississippi residents to be on the lookout. Somewhere out there, a monkey truck driver is still at large. Then he zips over to news of an angry orangutan visiting South Korea as President Furious George on an Asia-Palooza tour. It's silly, sharp, and full of classic late-night satire. The political riffing continues with a segment about Trump's enormous, controversial White House makeover, which, turns out, his wife Melania is not a big fan of. Jimmy's roasted the whole idea with jokes about the Cheesecake Factory, architect, flavor-obsessed designers, and the notion of adding a chocolate fondue fountain to the Lincoln bathroom. He paints Trump as a guest who thinks he's the owner and imagines a new set of advisors ranging from Flavor Flav's orthodontist to reality TV plumbers. The running theme, White House dignity going out the window, traded for wild renovations and unforgettable punchlines. Next up, the show pivots to sports. Jimmy touches on the Dodgers marathon games, Shohei Ohtani's exhaustion, and the quirks of baseball stats, peppered with Guillermo's hilarious translation skills. He translates questions for Ohtani, insists he wants to know, "Are you sleepy?" Eamon calls Jimmy a dumbus in Fox Japanese. It's light, energetic, and sets the stage for some lively banter between Jimmy and Guillermo. There are even kids crowded onto the set, shouting $6 to $7 every chance they get. Because, yes, the dictionary's word of the year is a number. Absurd. Absolutely. That's Kimmel's brand. The pace picks up as Jimmy moves from sports to legal news, lampooning Texas's lawsuit against Tylenol for hiding the missing links to autism. The delivery is sharp and satirical. He draws a funny contrast between easy access Tylenol and the locked-up candy in Trump's America. Even the Sour Patch Kids are being detained for no reason. It's Jimmy at his best, combining social commentary with unexpected, silly humor. Then the holiday vibes hit full force, Halloween warnings about drug-laced candy. Parenting tips. Wait for the kids to go to sleep and eat them yourself. And Jimmy's tongue. In Cheek's story about the origins of marijuana, infused treats, a collab between Willy Wonka and Willie Nelson. This year's Pumpkin Infest coverage is both sweet and unintentionally sad as a proud pumpkin grower shares how the event changed his life. Jimmy's quick to admit, it's unexpectedly moving. Holiday talk leads to a running gag about Halloween decorations, dogs reacting to giant skeletons, and a wacky new product, the 15-foot-tall worried crow. Kimmel dreams of caving in his roof with at least 100 worried crows, highlighting the wonderfully pointless excess of seasonal retail. There's relatable comedy in Jimmy's Halloween traditions, with family chaos and tired parents opting out of carving pumpkins. But then comes the big twist. Jimmy sets up what he calls bigger than the Super Bowl, the James C. Kimmel Cognitive Aptitude and Mental Brilliance Invitational. Here's the story. President Trump threw down a public challenge to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and AOC, questioning their IQ and inviting them to a cognitive duel. Jimmy grabs this as a golden opportunity, pitching a prime-time contest that could be once-in-a-lifetime television. He brings Congresswoman Crockett on live, and with clever, supportive banter, plus some sample, cognitive test questions, she accepts the challenge with style and sass. The chemistry's great. Their back and forth is witty but never mean, and in the end she agrees to face Trump in a public IQ showdown, preferably in the smoldering hole that used to be the East Wing. The suspense is real. Will Trump answer the challenge? Kimmel leaves the door wide open, promising, "We'll be in touch." From there, the show rolls right into the guest segment, with Keegan-Michael Key joining Jimmy for a fast, funny, and gleefully chaotic sit-down. Keegan's energy leaps out. The man loves crowds, sports, and being grabbed by fans. He admits to being a lifelong Detroit Tigers supporter, even though the team isn't in the World Series, and gets animated talking about baseball details like pitch counts and the strategy behind each play. There's good-natured ribbing about outdated music tastes and maxed-out brains. I stopped taking in new info in '87. And in a relatable twist, Keegan says his own music taste froze in 1995. Keegan's new obsession is cricket, and Jimmy's confusion turns into genuine curiosity as Keegan explains the game, the silly point, field position, and how learning new sports fires up his passion. There's a fun segment about Keegan's celeb NBA game at Madison Square Garden, coached by the legendary Walt Clyde Frazier, followed by highlights of Keegan scoring a buzzer beater. His excitement obvious, with multiple camera angles showing the play. Jimmy's playful, teasing him about carrying the video around and showing it to restaurant strangers. From sports, the interview shifts to Keegan's Detroit roots. He shares love for Eminem, first meeting exchanging peace signs, comparing their childhood neighborhoods near 8 Mile, and reminisces about the fame brought to Detroit through the movie 8 Mile. Jimmy chimes in, playfully arguing that Keegan was closer to 8 Mile than Eminem himself. A standout moment in the interview is when Jimmy asks Keegan about his experience working on Only Murders in the Building. Keegan describes playing the fictional, totally not corrupt mayor of New York and shares warm anecdotes about collaborating with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez, declaring he can't pick a favorite among them, though he gives a gentle nod to Marty Short because of their Canadian-Detroit connection. Halloween returns at the end of the segment, as Keegan brings up one of his favorite, Key and Peele, sketches Zaller's MJ Halloween, where he impersonates Michael Jackson for 6 minutes straight. Jimmy recalls that even Martin Short was a fan, watched it as a kid, though, in classic Kimmel style, he jokes Marty's always been a kid. After comedy comes cooking, as Bronx-born chef Christian Petroni takes the stage for a raucous demonstration, joined by Jimmy, Keegan, and Guillermo. Christian's energy and passion pulse through the segment. He shares his secrets to perfect meatballs, advocating for heavy bread, milk ratios, frying in olive oil, and a slow-cooked veggie-rich marinara that borders on ragu. There's chaos, lauder, and a mess of meatballs, polenta, cheese, and sauce poured right on the table. True maximalism, hosted with swagger and warmth. There's friendly competition over meatball shapes, shout-outs to Martha Stewart as Christian's neighbor, and the sheer joy of building a meal together. The show wraps up with all the guests digging in, savoring the food, and celebrating the simple pleasures of cooking and sharing, leaving viewers with a delicious, chaotic, heartfelt close. Jimmy teases upcoming episodes, thanks the team and the audience, and ends with his trademark apology to Matt Damon. So, what does it all mean? The October 29, 2025 Vive Jimmy Kimmel Live delivered on all fronts, e.c. political satire, wild animal news, sports intensity, hilarious celebrity moments, and the comfort of food. $. The biggest twist, Kimmel's plan to host a live IQ duel between Trump and Jasmine Crockett, a spectacle that, if it happens, could make history. In summary, it was an episode overflowing with energy, sharp wit, and the kind of unpredictable joy late-night TV does best. From monkeys on highways to buzzer beaters at MSG, and from political skirmishes to crammed polenta tables, this night had everything. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. What moment made you laugh most? Would you tune in for the Kimmel Cognitive Invitational? Which meatball trick are you stealing for your kitchen? Drop those comments below, hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more recaps and breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.